So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rochelle Jones. I am Director of the Student Support Services and Assessment Unit in the Barbara Jordan Mickey Leland School of Public Affairs, and just want to welcome you to our graduation workshop. This workshop will provide you with information as we know it as of now for fall 2020's graduation application process, as well as for spring 21. If things change after this particular presentation, we will provide you with that information at a later date. But right now, this is the information as we know it as of September the 23rd. So I would like to introduce, make sure that see if our deans are on here. Generally, our deans from our school would be on here to welcome you to the workshop. However, they are not present right now. So we'll continue with the remaining order of the workshop. So the purpose of this workshop is to provide you with information about submitting a graduation application and giving you information necessary to prepare you for graduation in the semester of your anticipated graduation date. Again, my name is Rochelle Jones, Director of Student Support Services. Also on this workshop presentation, we have our advisors in Student Support Services, Mr. Bebley and Ms. Johnson, if you would introduce yourselves.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mr. Bebley, Academic Advisor, School of Public Affairs. My primary letters are alphabet is N through Z. Hope we get a lot of information shared today, and I hope it's a good session.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sharina Johnson. I am one of the advisors in the School of Public Affairs, and I work with students whose last names begins with the letters A through M.
Okay, and thank you for those introductions. I'm going to check one more time to see if we have anyone from the dean's office in. I don't think so. We will do some other introductions going forward, but I want to go ahead and move to the next slide. So we're going to talk about some of the financial aid requirements for completing your graduation application, one of which consists of exit counseling. And so we have a representative from Default Prevention in the Office of Financial Aid, Ms. Dee Brown, and she will provide you with information about handling financial aid requirements. Ms. Brown, thank you for joining. You got it.
Good afternoon. Thank you guys for having me. I always look forward to this each and every semester because it gives me an opportunity to connect with our student body. Congratulations, first of all, graduates. Just to let you know, this is one of the requirements that you'll have to actually complete. Of course, as Ms. Jones said, we're doing this a little different this year. So to make sure we're able to accommodate everyone, we are hosting our exit counseling sessions virtually. The process still remains the same. You must register for an in-person virtual session. I think Ms. Jones will be able, she'll share the flyer with you guys electronically. It provides a link for you to register for the sessions and also complete exit counseling online. Now keep in mind, because there's always a little mix up with this counseling session, this session is for only graduates who have borrowed student loans while attending Texas Southern University. I'm going to say that one more time. Only for graduates who have borrowed student loans while attending Texas Southern University. So if you don't have student loans, you do not have to attend the virtual in-person session. We can basically just give you an okay to move forward with the process. You can email myself or Ms. Shaw letting us know, hey, I don't have student loans, and can you just basically sign off on my graduation application, and we'll send you an email saying you're okay to go, and you can submit that to along with your application. Now, once you come to the sessions, we'll definitely give you, because there's a lot of details and things that we would like to share with you. We'll give you details on how to move forward as far as there's some forms that you'll have to submit to us, and we'll give that to you in the session. The sessions are held every Wednesday throughout the day, from now all the way until May. You have plenty of opportunity to complete it, but we do need you guys to get registered and attend the sessions. Okay. Are there any questions? I'm not for sure, Ms. Jones, if you wanted to, for them to ask me questions now or wait till the end of the session.
No, they're welcome to ask questions now.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions regarding the exit process as it relates to the financial aid part, getting that piece of the pie handled?
Yes.
Um,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I just want to make sure I have this right. So you said that as long as we did not use any financial aid from Texas Southern, that we don't need to do it, but just to email you or Miss Shaw to say
That is
that we
correct.
didn't. Okay.
Right. Just and make sure, if you did not borrow student loans, okay, send us your T number, and we'll definitely have to check to make sure that is correct. And once we verify that information, we'll send you an email letting you know, hey, you are clear. Because we basically trying to prevent you guys from coming into the office. So you should be able to use the email that we send clearing you as for the purposes of signatures. Is that okay, Ms. Jones? I think that we were doing that before.
Yes.
Okay. That was a great question. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I have a quick question.
Sure.
If we had student loans that we took out through TSU and we have paid them off, do we still have to attend the exit counseling?
You don't have to submit, you do not have to attend the session. However, we do need to verify to make sure that you do not have any outstanding debt out there. So what we'll do is we'll definitely verify, and then we'll send you a clearance email just letting you know that you are clear and good to go as far as the financial aid requirement. As long as you do not have any student loan debt, we can clear you. And you
Okay,
do
thank
not
you.
have to, attend the virtual in-person session.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
I had a question. If we already completed the exit counseling through our like student ed financial or whatever the case may be, um,
Studentaid.gov. Uh-huh.
yes. Um, can we go ahead and email for the session?
Well, right. So you can basically register for the session at any time. We do require, or we're asking that you complete the online session as well, because that's going to give us, we'll be able to clear you. So you have to do both. Okay. So definitely you can go ahead and register for an in-person virtual session now. Any other questions? Did that answer that question?
Do we register by signing up on the TSU website, or do we have
That
to
is
email
correct.
you guys? Okay.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And thank you, Ms. Jones. So as you see, she did put the flyer up. And there are links there for the online exit session to where you'll go to studentaid.gov to complete that online. It typically takes us anywhere from 24 to 48 hours to receive notification that you did it online. So we're definitely asking, once you complete that session online, they should send you a confirmation email. And we'll share all this with you when you come to the in-person virtual session. We'll tell you definitely what we need. Basically, if you have that confirmation email, and you'll just send that along with the data sheet that we'll provide for you once you complete, on the virtual session. There's also a link there for you to schedule the appointment as well. Guys, keep in mind, the rules still apply. No late entry. There's a lot of information that we give in a short period of time, so we're asking you to make sure you're on time. So if you schedule an appointment for 10 o'clock, you got to be there for 10 a.m., okay? Any other questions? Great
I had
questions.
um What if we did the exit counseling in the spring of last school year? And an online session too. Do we have to do this one as well?
That's a great question. So, a lot of students, I mean, of course, if you can show and provide proof, you can send it to myself or Ms. Shaw and let us take a look at it. Okay. It is time and date sensitive, so we have to determine whether or not you still fall within the allotted time for you not to have to repeat the session. Okay. So
And
you can definitely make sure send us your information via email, your T number, and we could take a look at that to see if you are within that allotted time frame.
I also got the signatures as well, like the application from last semester that I was supposed to turn in too.
Okay, so I'm not for sure if Ms. Jones is requiring you guys to complete a new application. But for us, if you are still within that allotted time, that's why I want to take a look at your information. I can tell you whether or not you need to complete this again. So just send me your T number because there is a time frame. And I can give you my email address.
Okay.
So it's dischunara.brown@tsu.edu. And also Ms. Shaw's is there as well. Which is KARESSA.SHAW@TSU.edu.
Thank you.
Great questions. Any other questions, guys?
I am unable to find the link online to set an appointment for you guys.
So
So are you guys?
it's on the flyer here. So
Yes.
basically you can go to the admissions tab
Okay.
on TSU's website under financial aid and then schedule the appointment.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Sure.
So I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself. I just recently completed the exit counseling, but I haven't received any emails about graduation.
Okay, I'm not for sure if that's a question that I can answer. Are you talking about exit loan counseling, or are you talking about just the graduation process?
Like the graduation process. Like I know other students that have already received emails about the graduation process, and I have not. So I'm just really trying to see where am I at because I'm only taking 2 classes this semester, and I have the ample amount of hours for graduation.
Right. I think Ms. Jones will probably go over that further in this session as far as, where you are and some things that you will need to do to make sure that you are on task for graduation.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions regarding the exit loan counseling session? All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
Not a problem.
All right, so I want to make you all aware of some of the protocols that are required for your application process. So most of you will have to have signature protocol from a representative in the dean's office, and that can include our dean, Dr. George Kia Jr., or Dr. Andrew Awo, who's the interim associate dean of academic affairs. Both of their email addresses are listed here. What I want to make you aware of, and this is specifically for our undergraduate students, is we're doing something a little different this semester, where you will not actually do an application in person. You will be submitting your application digitally. If you have already submitted one on paper in person, talk to myself or one of the academic counselors offline about how to proceed with your process. But for those who have not submitted an application, we will be setting up your documents via online for signature protocol. And so I just want to make you aware of the signatures that you'll be retrieving. Again, the dean's office is one of the signatures that is required. And so just for your FYI, their email addresses are there if you need to reach out for any reason. In addition, we have our 3 school departments, which is Administration of Justice. Dr. David Baker is the interim chair, and his email address and telephone number are included here for your use. For political science, we have an interim chair, Dr. Sarmista Majumdar. Her email address and telephone number also listed, and I do believe she's on this call. Dr. Majumdar, if you want to introduce yourself to those who are participating, we would greatly appreciate it.
Yes, my video is off. I'm trying to turn it on. I don't know, it's not working. So, I would like to introduce myself as the interim chair of the Department of Political Science. So, if you need any help, I'm in my office, so please either give me a call or send me an email, and I will try my best to look into it and provide you the needed help or assistance in any matter. And also, Ms. Jones is there, so both of us, we can help you out.
And
Thank
then
you.
lastly, for those students who are on the call that are graduate students, we have our Urban Planning and Environmental Policy Department. Dr. Cherie Smith is the interim chair, and her email address and telephone number are listed. Those of you who fall under MAJ, which is Master of Administration of Justice, or the Executive Master of Administration of Justice, you would fall under the AJ department. Those who are graduate students in Public Administration or EMPA, you would fall under Political Science. So those are those signature protocols that may be required for you as an undergraduate or graduate student to do your application. Next, we're going to let Mr. Bebley speak on the application process. Mr. Bebley.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you see on this one, there's a few documents that goes into the packet. Now it's digital this year, so maybe different, but I want you to look before we move forward where you see the bottom ones where it says if applicable. So if you come to a form and you say, I don't know what that's about, it probably doesn't apply to you, so don't worry, but we'll explain it. Okay, the first document is your actual application. We'll send this to you. You are to fill out the first 2 blocks and then make sure you sign and date it. If you look, you'll see you have the signatures that are required. Your advisor, the chair, the dean, and then the financial aid signature where Ms. Brown explained everything to you. That's usually the order it's going to go. Once you start with your advisor, once everything's complete, we do our part, we'll sign. Once we sign, then you can move to the next steps with the chair and the dean, unless we tell you otherwise. So that will be the process. Guys, also make sure that you fill that out correctly. Put the correct date. If you look, you'll see where it says in the middle, the semester I'm registered for blank hours and we're registered for 0 hours next semester. If that doesn't apply to you, don't worry about that. That's just the way the application was made. Okay? Your next one is going to be your degree plan, or as they would say it on they will call it the curriculum summary. Some of you, if you worked with us, we've repeatedly told you, where's your degree plan? Is it completed? Is it updated? This one is a brand new one. So if you have one that's completed and updated, we can use it as a reference, but we have to do a brand new one. And we usually will write it on the flip side of this degree plan. We'll fill it in, and of course, we'll sign it, and then of course, you'll get the necessary signatures. But whatever degree plan we were using, if it was the 2014, 2019, 2015, that is the one that we will use. You do not switch unless you were told to. The next one is your unofficial transcript. I'm assuming we'll do this the same way. We're just going to print those out and include it in the packet, Ms. Jones.
We can
Okay, so
we can actually PDF them since we're going digital. We'll be able to PDF these from online and just include it in the entire digital packet.
okay, will that be us or them?
We'll do it. We'll have to
Okay,
do it on our end.
okay. So it's not an actual transcript, it's your unofficial. If you were some of these tech savvy people who can convert it to PDF and send it, you can reach that on your My TSU portal under your unofficial transcript. Most of you should be using this to update your degree plans
No,
anyway.
she's in her office. Yes, I mean, Chad, he cleared it. He was super fast. He cleaned it up and then, but then,
The
Please mute your phone, Dr. Star.
Chad, get over there, Chad. The
Okay.
next one is the degree evaluation. That is, if you don't, not sure what your degree evaluation is, that's your degree works. Um, we're still doing it the same way. So to get a PDF of that one, if you were to do it yourself, you would have to click on there. It has print as PDF. So if you still want to print out a copy for yourself, you would click print, save as PDF from the homepage of Degree Works, and you can have your own copy. But I'm assuming that that'll be something that we will do also. Right, Ms. Jones?
Right, we can pull that.
The next one is your course substitution form. Now, if this is something that has been discussed between your advisor, Ms. Jones, and the department chair. Uh, quick summary of a course substitution. If if we found something, we would suggest it. You can't come to us and say, I heard they're doing substitutions. That has to be something that's going to be agreed upon between the student advisor and then approved by Ms. Jones, the chair, and the dean. So at this point, if we've not mentioned course substitutions to you, this is one of the forms that you don't have to concern yourself about. The next one is permission to take out of credit, courses credit out of residence. If you are within 90 semester, if you're at 90 hours towards your degree, not just 90 general hours, but you are 90 hours, you're 90 hours, 30 remaining for your graduation, you have to take your final classes at TSU. There have been times where students, for whatever reason, be it economic, be it scheduling, personal, that students cannot take the class here. Once again, if you look at the signatures, that's the chair and the dean. This is something that would have already been discussed and approved for you to take that out of residency. That could be at a community college or another 4-year school. If you have done this, at the end of the semester where you're taking this class, you would have to provide your transcript to the registrar so they can confirm the out of residency class that you've taken. But this is something that has already been discussed and already been approved if you were doing a course out of residency. The next one is authorization of grade change. I'm happy to say that this does not involve your academic advisor. This is between the instructor, the chair, and the dean. So if there was a process that you went through to get a grade change, or if you're still in the process of the grade change, this is the form that's needed. If you look and see the signatures that are required, those are the signatures: instructor, chair, dean. So hopefully you've started with us and we've informed you of the steps to do a grade change. One was done. This is the form that you will need to attach. And I've been told, I think Ms. Johnson can confirm that these forms, sometimes they come in a little bit later than normal. So if you're working on one and it's still in the process, do not panic at this time. Is that correct, Ms. Jones?
That's correct.
Okay. The next one is the incomplete grade. If you have an incomplete and it is a class that's required for your graduation, it has to be resolved before graduation. I do believe if you get it resolved, it may still appear on the transcript, but the second grade will be there. So if you've already did the grade change form and you see the new grade, then there's no need to worry. If you took, let's say you took math 134 and you got an I, and then you decided I'm going to take 135 instead, you would not need the form for the I because we were using the second math to take it. So that's a case where an I is not going to hurt you as far as graduation. But if it's a class that's needed for your major or minor, we'll have to have this completed before graduation, before your degree is confirmed.
All right, so next we will discuss the graduate application process. So for graduate students, there are a couple of documents that are required. You have two types of application. One is for a non-thesis. That's if there is no thesis required for your degree conferral. And then those that do have a thesis or a dissertation, then you would need to complete that part of your application. And the application is actually available on the graduate school's website. So if you go to the graduate school, you click forms, you're going to see the application available. Right now, the only application that is there is for fall 2020. The spring 21 application is not available yet, but you are required to submit your degree plan. For some of you, the degree plan you will utilize will be the one that's actually on the graduate school's website. It will be in the same area that the graduation application is. But for some of you, like for instance, EMPA students, your actual degree plan, you will have to get it from your program coordinator, Mr. Yitbark, because it's specific to your degree plan. The form that is on the graduate school's website is more generic, and it's generally utilized for those programs that are longer in length. For instance, and also those more traditional programs. So you want to make sure that you reach out to whoever your graduate coordinator or your graduate program director are to make sure that you have the correct degree plan that you're submitting with your application. You will also need to do exit counseling confirmation or an appointment, as we discussed previously with Ms. Brown. In that, you would also be required to, and this is specific for our online students, submitting a supplemental data sheet. And when I mean online, I'm referring to those students who are in executive programs. And also note that the thesis and dissertation candidates have additional documents that must be submitted in order to have your degree conferred. There are other timelines and protocols required for those of you who have thesis or dissertation submissions. So just keep that in mind. Contact your graduate program director or your chair for those deadlines, but make sure that you adhere to them. Because what we don't want to happen is for you to not be able to have your degree conferred timely because something wasn't submitted on time. So, Ms. Johnson, if you can review the undergraduate application deadlines.
Okay, the undergraduate application deadline for undergraduate is Thursday, October 15th. For the fall 2020 graduate applications, and Friday, October 23rd for the spring 21 applicants. The application fee is $50, and a request will be made to have the fee applied to your account so that you're able to make the payment. And again, you will submit the application to the Office of Student Support Services, and we will get those to the registrar's office for you all, since everything is being done digitally.
And so, if I could interject, I want to make you all aware because there was some information that was previously published that the application deadline for fall was October the 26th. However, that is no longer the case. As you see it here, the deadline for fall 2020 is October the 15th. Make sure that your application is submitted prior to this because I want you all to note that, and this is a question that we got in the chat, how will we submit our applications if no one is on campus? There are people on campus, but we are having to practice social distancing with regard to COVID-19. Because of that, we are practicing a signature protocol that is digital. That means that we will be sending your application through a platform that will retrieve signatures, electronic signatures from each of the persons that needs to sign your application. So that's important, specifically with regard to these deadlines, because you will need to make sure that you don't wait until Thursday, October the 15th to submit your application. You need to do it a few days prior so that we can make sure that we get all the signatures. What I don't want to happen is for us to make it through halfway through signatures, and then on the 15th we're still trying to retrieve one last one and it gets submitted late. We don't want to submit anything late. We want to submit them as one collective unit of applications, specifically for the undergraduates. And so with that, that requires you to submit them prior to October the 15th to us. Let me see if there are questions in the chat. When will we receive them? So at the conclusion of this workshop, we will be sending a link to view this video, as well as a group attachment with all of the documents that are required for you to apply for your application for graduation. That is what will be required. So Ms. Jackson is asking, so print out the application and email them to the different departments. No, ma'am. So what you will do is you will work with your advisor. And this, if you're an undergraduate, you're working with Ms. Johnson and Mr. Bebley and myself. You will work with one of us, and you will go ahead and fill out your application and any of the other documents that need to be submitted. Once you complete those, we will then group them all together digitally and set them up for the signatures to be acquired from all of the offices that are needed signatures from. So that's how it will work. You won't do any sending. We will do the sending. And there actually will be a signature protocol where it will show each email address that the application is dispatched to. So when the office of the registrar gets your application, it will say the application went to such and such's office and they signed from this IP address at this time. So it will be very specific. So there won't be a requirement for you to have to go to offices to get signatures. It will set it up digitally. So it'll go to their inbox and they'll sign and it'll move on to the next person. It's similar to those of you who may have used something called, I forgot, the name escapes me, but we use Adobe Sign for our platform, but it's similar to those of you who may sign like loan or lease agreements digitally, where it allows you to sign and it moves the document on to the next person. It's the same process. Ms. Brooks is asking, will you guys send a mass email with the steps? Thank you, Mr. Simeon. Yes, VeriSign. Someone asked, will you guys send a mass email with the steps that we are having to do with the deadlines? So we will send, if you are an undergraduate student, we will send you the checklist, but this information is your instructions on how to do your application. The application is very self-explanatory, as Mr. Bebley just reviewed it. The only thing we need you to do is to fill out all of the documents that are pertinent to you, meaning if they apply to you, then fill them out completely except for the signature lines. Once you send back a complete packet of your application with your degree plan, then we will then get those documents assembled completely and send your packet through signature protocol. So someone asked, so after we sign, it will automatically be sent over to who's next? Yes. So what you need to know, though, is you have to send us back your signed application. You have to, because we need you to fill it out first. Your graduation application that we referred to previously, we would need you to fill it out first and sign it, and then you can send it to us, and then we will send it through signature protocol. Another question is, if we have an application filled out from last semester, but we haven't turned it in, will we still have to do a new one? To make sure that we're sticking with social distancing requirements, we would like for you, if you didn't turn it in, to yes, go ahead and do a new one. It'll make the process more simple of getting your signatures. Because otherwise we're going to have to do it manually in person, and we don't need to do that. So we would need you to go ahead and complete a new document if you haven't submitted it. Yes, you will be sent the application via email. Once we conclude this seminar and the video is actually completed and the recording is uploaded, we will be able to um, go in and um, send you the application documents. How will you pay for the application? So what will happen with that is a request will be made to have the fee applied to your account. So you'll be able to go into the payment protocol platform to make an actual payment of the application fee. Just how you would pay your tuition online, it'll be the same way. We will go in and have student accounting to add the fee, but that only will be done once we get a complete application. Thank you, Ms. Robinson, for answering the
Hello,
question.
Dr. Jones?
Uh-huh.
Hello, this is Tamla Simmons. I paid my application fee on last week, and they sent um, the receipt. It went very smoothly, excuse me. So was I not supposed to do that?
You're a graduate student, so your process is a little different. The graduate school actually has an online
Oh,
portal
I'm
for you
sorry.
to make payments.
Okay.
So that is quite all right. Mr. Yabar can probably provide you with more guidance about your application submission process because you are an EMPA student. However, you did not do anything wrong in submitting it through that portal because that is for graduate students. I did inquire previously about an undergraduate portal. I was told that we're going to follow this other process, so that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
Uh,
So is it fair to say I'm on the right call?
yes, you are.
The
This
right.
information is
Okay.
still it's broad. I'm but it's more geared toward undergrads. However, there is some information from the graduate school that you should be aware of.
Okay. My apologies. I'm sure you're. My apologies. I'm just logging on or joining late, so I'm
Oh, no
trying to
problem.
catch up.
No
So
problem
my apologies. My apologies, Dr. Jones. Thank you.
at all. So another question says, do we need to first request the application or will it be automatically mailed? So when we conclude with this workshop, we will send it out to all of the participants. That was one of the reasons why we required for you to RSVP. If you did not RSVP and you want us to make sure you're included in the application mailing, then please submit your information in the chat, and one of our student assistants will record your email address so that it can be sent to you. But if you RSVP'd for the workshop, you're automatically going to be included in the communication with the application. I turned in a graduation application for in the beginning of August. Do I still have to turn in a new one? Ms. Guzman, do you know if your application included all of the documents or whether it was just what can you tell me what was included in it? Was it just the application document or was it all of the attachments?
Can you hear me well? This is Susan.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so yeah, I just did the graduation application. It was just the application itself. I didn't turn in anything else.
Okay, so we will need to go back and review your application with your advisor, and then you may need to go ahead and complete any other documents so that your packet can be made complete. Because right now we can't just submit the graduation application. We have to include all of the other documents that we mentioned previously.
Okay.
So for those of you who did not RSVP but you're on the call, what needs to happen is for you to put your email address in the chat box. Please do not include your T number, just your email address. And we will get that sent to you whenever we conclude and this workshop uploads. Okay, let's see. We will get to the cap and gown information. I will follow up in just a second on that. The question is we have 18 hours left to complete for the second semester. Can we still apply for graduation? So, Miss Johnson, are you referring to you're graduating in spring 21? Ashley, please, Johnson, are you referring to you graduating in spring 21?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so yes. So those of you who are graduating in spring 21, you know definitively that you are. You can submit your application. That application is due on October the 23rd of this semester. So keep in mind, there are two applications deadlines that we're working with. For those of you who are graduating for fall 20, your application deadline is October the 15th. For those of you graduating in spring 21, that application deadline is October the 23rd. Are we required to purchase our official transcripts, and will that be applied to our student account as well? Ms. Wicker, are you referring to a student, your official transcript for what reason? To purchase it for applying to graduate school or to submit with your application? Ms. Wicker? Okay, maybe she'll come back on.
Hello.
Yes, Ms. Wicker. So my
Okay, I'm
question
sorry.
my question to you in response to your question was, are you asking about the official transcript for you to purchase it for like to apply to graduate school or to have it to attach to your graduation application?
Our graduation application.
No, ma'am. So referring back to what we spoke about earlier, we would attach your unofficial transcript to your application. So you wouldn't need to do that for an official transcript unless you were trying to apply to a graduate school or law school or something of the sort. That's something that requires you to have an official document. That's when you would submit or apply for that. But your application doesn't require an official transcript.
Okay, and will the documents as far as substituting be attached to the email after this concludes?
Wait, say that again.
Will the documents that we need to have with our graduation application for class substitution be attached to the email after this conference concludes?
Yes, it will. Once we get this workshop video uploaded, yes, it will be. The next question I see is spring applications are not available yet. So, Korea, are you referring to, or Caria, are you referring to graduate or undergraduate applications?
Undergraduate.
The undergraduate spring application is available because that application doesn't alter. The graduation application for the graduate school is different for those of you who are graduate students on the call. And so there is two separate applications. One is available now on the website, on the graduate school website, and it's a fall application. The spring 21 application is not available yet. I want to review some graduate application deadlines for those of you who are graduate students. The deadline for fall 2020 is the same as undergraduates, which is Thursday, October the 15th. The next application for spring 21 is due on Friday, October the 23rd. Please note that there are different fees for the basis of whatever your application classification is. So if you're a master's non-thesis, your application fee is $50. That's going to include your EMPA, EMAJ students, you are non-thesis, your MPA, your non-thesis. Depending on where you fall with the Masters of Administration of Justice, you could be a thesis or a non-thesis student. The best person to make that inquiry with would be your graduate program director or your chair. So with that, if you are a thesis master student, that fee is $65. If you're a doctoral candidate, your application fee is $75. And there's a note that I would like for you as graduate students to contact your department about procedures for submitting your applications to the graduate school. Mr. Ybark specifically for EMPA, he has a procedure for how he submits applications to the graduate school. So you want to make sure that you align yourself with whatever procedures and protocols he's requiring so that your application can be submitted timely. Specifically for those of you who are graduate students and you're submitting an application for fall 2020. This is the deadline and the different requirements that are necessary for you to be able to be cleared for graduation. You'll see the October the 15th deadline. Please note though that they do have October 26th as the deadline for still on the application. Please note that the graduate school has that on there. However, the academic calendar has published something else, which is October the 15th. So you want to make sure that you get your application in timely. I understand what this application says, but the academic calendar says October the 15th. So we want to make sure that we're timely with that. And notice at the bottom, the last day for the registrar to clear you for fall 2020 for your graduate students, that's December the 3rd. So you want to make sure that if you have incomplete grades, if you have grade changes that need to be done for you to have your degree conferred, you want to make sure that they're done by the December the 3rd, because that is when your conferral window will close and you will not be able to get your degree conferred. You'll have to apply for an upcoming semester. Are there any questions? If you need to schedule an appointment, feel free to send any of us an email. Again, we are available via phone, but you have to leave us a message because we're currently still working remotely. There are making some installations and some safety updates in our offices, and because they're not complete yet, we're still working remotely. So you have to leave us a message, and we will be able to call you back. If you call and don't leave one, then we won't know that you called. But you are welcome to email any of us. We can schedule an appointment to go over your application with you virtually, and then we can send your application through signature protocol following that. I'll take any questions now, and then we can talk about graduation. Any more questions, rather?
Are you open for any appointments this week, or would scheduling next week be better?
Scheduling next week would be better because I already have booked up appointments with just advising sessions this week. So it would be best to start your appointments next week. I'll be open for graduation appointments then.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just speaking for myself. Ms. Johnson and Mr. Bebley may have availability, but I know I've already booked my schedule with the appointments that I can, as many as I can take for now.
Okay, well, I'll just book with you next week. Thank you.
Alrighty. Let's see. Spring. Oh, she was responding to someone else. Okay. One more thing to note is upcoming dates and ordering announcements and regalia. So the bookstore is your resource for anything regarding commencement. Our official vendor for graduation is Herff Jones. You are able to follow this website that's included, which is collegegrad.herffjones.com, and Herff is spelled with 2 F's. To go in and you're able to access the official regalia for your degree. They have the doctoral regalia as well as master's and bachelor's regalia. They also have announcements. They also have other items for you to purchase. They have the hoods for those master's and doctoral candidates as well. So you definitely are welcome to seek out that website. You can search by institution. You type in Texas Southern University, and it will take you to a specific website about our commencement. Our commencement is tentative. Um, and any of the items regarding commencement are tentative because we're still dealing with COVID, unfortunately. So you see that I have not put any commencement dates or an actual in-person event because that technically I don't have any information to provide you. Um, you'll see here we've listed something specific to our school, which is a tentative graduation reception, but it would likely be something virtual. Um, and it actually, the date could possibly change since our semester changed. Our semester dates are changing, and we're actually on a 13-week semester. So there are some things that will change and could possibly adjust. So if you're interested in ordering announcements, interested in ordering regalia or any of that sort, my suggestion is to contact the bookstore, or either the official Herff Jones vendor, which is collegegrad.herffjones.com. So, so will we be having a graduation ceremony? So that's what I don't know for certain. Because of COVID, we have adjusted to, we're back going to classes in person, but a large portion of our classes are online still. So I don't know. I don't have the answers about whether graduation will be in person. Um, what likely could happen is we could have a virtual ceremony like they did for those who graduated in spring 20. That is something that is possible. But we would need more guidance from our university leadership to provide us with that information about whether graduation will be in person.
Hello, Professor Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, this is Dr. Christoph. I had a question
Okay.
on the degree plan. There's a need for a signature for an advisor, and I was just wondering, is that would that be the director, or would that be someone else?
Um, for your particular program, that can be the program director.
Okay.
Because for that specific application, it can be a program coordinator. It can be anyone deemed whoever the advisor is. For the graduation application for graduate students. So that could be myself, that could be Mr. Yabaric, that could be you, that could be whoever is designated as someone who's been serving in the advisor role to a student. Um, for the degree plan, because it does say program advisor, but it also says chair, then it says dean, and then there's a line for the dean of the graduate school. So that could be anyone, but in
Okay.
our capacity, I would suggest that be your signature line.
Okay. Thank you so much for that.
Okay, my degree work still says I'm a political science major, but I'm an AJ major. Tiara, did you do a change of major already?
No, we never got around to it, and I also never declared my minor, which is forensic science. So
Okay,
my degree
so
work basically says I'm not on track.
your application is a great time to do your declaration of major and minor. Um, Definitely go ahead and do that. Definitely go ahead and take care of that when you do your application.
Okay, so would I just like, so how does the process? I just changed my major in the application process.
We're gonna have to do it on that end because if you're applying for graduation for fall 20 or spring 21, which one is it?
Fall 20. And when I look at, I personally did my degree. I looked at the degree plan, and I've taken all the classes I need. I'm just retaking one class for a better grade, so I have ample amount of hours for graduation.
Got it. So yes, you're going when you submit your application is when you would need to do your change of major and declaration of minor. There's nothing we can do now because they're not the registrar's office is not processing them at the moment, but they will process it with your graduation application.
So would this probably be why I haven't received the email because it says I'm not on the right track?
It possibly could be, but
Okay.
I'm not sure what email you're referring to the students have received.
So I know somebody that's a co-ed major and she's received like a email about graduation and filling out the applications, and I know another co-ed major that's also received information about it.
Well, COSET is different because
Oh,
you
okay,
know
okay.
they have their own procedures on how they tackle graduation. This is how we tackle graduation. So this is your notice that you
Okay,
know
see, I
you're
thought I was
yeah,
behind, so that's why I was worried.
no. Every school tackles how they handle their procedures different. So this is how we handle graduation.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Here.
All right. Any other questions?
Did you already address the questions about the November 21st graduation that somebody put into the chat?
Yes, I did. So I don't have any answers yet as to whether graduation will be in person. Because COVID has been unpredictable. We haven't been given any definitives yet. You probably will get information closer to us getting to November and that specific date to say, hey, this is when graduation will be, and this is how in the platform it will be in. It's very possible it could be in person. It's very possible it also could be virtual. I haven't been given any indicator otherwise.
Oh no, not that one, but somebody else. Blair Robinson said, "Are we graduating November 21st?" Because online says that it's November 21st, and somebody else, well, I think the same person mentioned that's why we started early was
Right.
because of
We
it,
did
right?
We did start early because of COVID. So we are on a 13-week semester instead of generally a 16-week semester. So the semester will end on November the 19th. That's the last day of classes. If the academic calendar says November the 21st, then that's when they will hold the commencement ceremony. But I don't have any definitives on whether it's in person or whether it's virtual.
Okay, does that shift the dates for anything being due, like applications or whenever the
Your
registrar's
application
office?
Your application is still going to be due on October the 15th for those of you applying for fall 2020 and October 23rd for those of you applying for spring 21.
What about the last day for the registrar's office to confer? Because you mentioned that that was on December the 3rd.
That is still what and that's actually for graduate students. So that
Yes,
doesn't
I'm a
apply.
graduate student, so that's what I
Oh,
was concerned about.
so if that's what the graduate school has listed on their application, that's what we're going to go by. I would probably, I would actually, in all honesty, I would not let my clearance for graduation go past the end of the semester. So when November the 19th hits, if I had incompletes, they need to be remedied. If I had grade changes that needed to be done, they need to be fixed, because what you don't want to do is to wait until December the 3rd and you're, trying to get things fixed and it does you run out of time. I would work to make sure that those things are done now so that by November the 19th, when the semester ends, there isn't anything to remedy other than me completing my classes, getting my final grades, and them saying, yes, they go and review my grades. Hey, I'm ready to be conferred. That's what I would suggest. Any other questions?
I do. And my apologies again. I keep stepping in and out. Um, so for the gowns and your hoods and things of that nature, you're saying that we can purchase them in the bookstore?
You can, but I would suggest you go online because they have our designated section on Herff Jones's website. That's our official vendor for commencement
Okay.
regalia. You can go to
Okay.
collegegrad.herffjones.com and you will type in Texas Southern University, follow the prompts, and it's going to take you to the different regalia options for bachelor's, master's, and doctoral candidates. and it'll
Okay,
include each
I'll do that.
package the necessary items that you need if you're, taking pictures, or if you actually, if we will have eventual participation in an in-person commencement, those options will be available. They also have announcements that they have that are official licensed announcements that you can purchase as well.
Okay, okay. That's it for me, I guess.
All right, any other questions? All right. Well, I want to thank you all for joining today's workshop. Your presence is appreciated. Feel free to give me a call or either email me if you have concerns. I welcome you to meet with me virtually. If you have concerns and you want them addressed, definitely use me as a reference. Mr. Bebley is available. Ms. Johnson is here. Miss Jackson, don't be sad about graduation. I do believe that it will work itself out. Um, and generally, they will, hopefully, the university will be able to devise a plan that you'll be able if you can attend a commencement this term, that you would be able to attend one in a subsequent semester. They haven't outlined that information yet, but once it is made available, I definitely will communicate that with you all. Are all of you receiving your emails from the Office of Student Support Services?
Yes, I am. Yes.
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 Okay,
Yes.
great. Great. If you are not receiving emails, I would advise you to make sure that you check your TSU address, because that's where they're going to. But please make sure that I don't send emails unless it's necessary. So, definitely check them when I do send them, because it's generally going to have pertinent information. Like for instance, today at 5:30, we're offering a statistics tutoring session with Dr. Christoph. Make sure you join. It's going to provide you with information that can help you in your statistics classes. So make sure you're checking those emails. And again, I thank you. I thank you, Ms. Brown, Mr. Bebley, Ms. Johnson, Dr. Manjundar, Dr. Christoph, Mr. Yabarak. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Mr. Sebastian, for joining us. Your presence is appreciated. I appreciate the support. I'll make sure that Dean Kia knows that you all attended.
Thank you, Dr. Jones.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Jones.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you, Dr.
Jones.
Jones.
Let me see. Oh,
Thank you, Dr.
you're
Jones.
down. I wish you all an amazing day. Thank you so much.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.